When summer leaves, the noise comes back on the dike. As the suction dredger Vox Ariane always comes back too. This ship was built in 2022 and measures 138 to 28 meters. On tour from Hamburg to Montreal in Canada was the containership Ontario Express. She was built in 2005, has a length of 268 meters and a beam of 32 meters. On feeder tour from Bremerhaven to Hamburg was Elbwave. She was built in 2011 with a length of 152 meters and a width of 23 meters. Underway to Gdynia in Poland was Emotion. She is 170 meters long, 25 meters wide, and 16 years old. Another suction dredger. This time the 2002-built Kaishu. Here she was driving fully loaded in direction of the North Sea, where she would drop her load. Kaishu is 158 meters long and 28 meters wide. This is Elbskipper. Her tour started in Grønlandshavnen in Denmark with destination Hamburg. Built in 2001, she measures 135 to 23 meters. Unusually early, the AIDAprima came up the Elbe. It was around 12:30 a.m., so I was able to catch her on her drive by in the direction of Hamburg. This cruise ship was built in 2016 in Japan, is 300 meters long, and has a beam of 38 meters. She came from Zeebrugge in Belgium. LPG tanker Dorothea Schulte was sailing from Butzflecht to Antwerp. They built her in 2013. She is 113 meters long and 19 meters wide. Longwood is a freighter that came from Hull in Great Britain. Her length is 133 meters, her beam 16 meters, and she is 13 years old. Meike B started her tour in Hamburg, and her destination port was Hull in Great Britain. She was built in 2013, is 88 meters long and 11 meters wide. This is the bulk carrier Friendship. A beautiful name. This vessel is 289 meters long, 45 meters wide, and was built in 2009. She came from Saldanha in South Africa. The container ship Mærsk Batam had set sail in Hamburg, and her destination port was Cartagena in Colombia. The vessel was built in 2008. She is 224 meters long and 32 meters wide. The container ship CMA-CGM Tarragona was built in 2010, is 32 meters wide and 261 meters long. She came from Rotterdam Maasvlakte with destination Hamburg. Hekla is an 89 meters long and 12 meters wide cargo ship that came from Emden in Germany and was underway to Hamburg. She is 16 years old. Sailing under German flag is the MSC La Spezia. She measures 366 to 51 meters, was built in 2010, and was on tour from Antwerp to Hamburg. The tanker River Oak came from Hamburg and was underway to Stanlow in Great Britain. She is 16 years old, 129 meters long and 20 meters wide. The chemical tanker Seychelles Pioneer came from Rotterdam with destination Hamburg. She was built in 2005, is 185 meters long and 28 meters wide. Danai is a bulk carrier that came from Kamsar in Guinea. Her destination was Stade in Germany. 3 years old, she is 229 meters long and has a beam of 32 meters. The 398 meters long and 51 meters wide container ship APL Changi came from Le Havre in France. She was built in 2013. Directly in the slipstream of the APL Changi, the freighter Hendrika Margareta drove by. She is 31 years old, 81 meters long and 12 meters wide. Her tour had started at Rotterdam Walhaven. very unusual guest came down the Elbe. The Caribbean Princess, a cruise ship with a rear spoiler. She is 290 meters long, has a beam of 36 meters, and was built in 2004. The ship still has bright modern lighting. That comes from the fact that the Caribbean Princess was completely overhauled in 2019. Her inside was then changed in a way that there are no big rooms over more decks left. Instead, Princess Cruises opted for small cafes, nice bistros and restaurants with a more personal service. They want to give the passengers the feeling they are on a small cruise ship. The ship came from Hamburg and was sailing to Portland in the UK. The MSC Darien is a 2003 built container ship that measures 323 to 43 meters. She came from Rotterdam Maasvlakte. Here we see Loth Lorien, a three-masted barkentine under the flag of the Netherlands. She is 48 meters long and 6 meters wide. Loth Lorien can be chartered. On day trips up to 90 guests can be accommodated. The saloon can seat up to 50 people, and she has cabins for up to 36 guests. She was built in 1907. Her destination was Hamburg. She came from Kiel. Coming from Thames in Great Britain was Caucedo Express. This vessel is 15 years old, 210 meters long, and has a beam of 30 meters. The container ship Wreck de Hoog is 149 meters long and 23 meters wide. She was built in 2005. Her tour had started in Rotterdam-Walhaven. The destination port was Hamburg. On tour to Antwerp was the Hapag-Lloyd box mover Valparaiso Express. She is 8 years old, 333 meters long, and has a beam of 48 meters. The LPG tanker Lamentin was built in 2007, has a length of 120 meters and a width of 20 meters. Lamentin was sailing to Bremen. The freighter Hydra came from Break in Germany and was sailing to Hamburg. She measures 89 to 12 meters and is 17 years old. This is Frøya, a CO2 freighter. Her destination port was Fredericia in Denmark. Her length is 83 meters, her width is 13 meters, and she was built in 2005. The first high clouds came from the North Sea and announced the upcoming weather change. On the next day it was grey and significantly cooler. There the vehicle carrier Thames Highway came by on her tour from Southampton in Great Britain to Hamburg. She was built in 2005, is 148 meters long and 26 meters wide. Even the police saw the need to check if this weather is legally allowed at all. Therefore, they drove from Cuxhaven to Hamburg. The Bürgermeister Breuer is a 30 meters long and 6 meters wide cruiser that was built in 1992. The freighter Andrea is 18 years old and measures 83 to 13 meters. Her destination was Turku in Finland. Coming out of Kiel Canal was Peyton Lynn C. The container ship is 141 meters long, has a beam of 24 meters, and was built in 2007. Gioconda is a chemical tanker that is 6 years old, 110 meters long, and 18 meters wide. She was on tour to Sluiskil in the Netherlands. The freighter BBC Dolphin came from Cape Town in South Africa. Built in 2007, she measures 120 to 20 meters. On tour from Hamburg to Antwerp was the HMM Gdansk. She was built in 2020, is 400 meters long, and has a beam of 61 meters. The container ship OOCL Abu Dhabi was built in 2024 and has a size of 399 to 61 meters. Her destination port was Antwerp too. The next container ship en route to Antwerp, this time the Windswept. Her length is 225 meters, her beam is 31 meters, and she was built in 2010. We earlier already saw Cosedo Express driving half empty to Hamburg. Now she returned nicely loaded. She was underway to Rotterdam. It had started to rain. Then, in the last daylight, the one Innovation came by on her tour from Rotterdam Maasvlakte to Hamburg. This container ship is 400 meters long, 61 meters wide, and was built in 2023. With a speed of 16 knots, she seemed to be in a hurry. And finally, one of our favorites came by too, the catamaran Hollanderjet. As usual, he was on his drive home from Heligoland to Hamburg. Hollanderjet is 57 meters long, 14 meters wide, 6 years old, and has a maximum speed of 36 knots. Also, the feeder ship Beate came by on her tour from Bremerhaven to Hamburg. Beate is 19 years old, 134 meters long and 23 meters wide. It stopped raining on the next day, but the wind got fresher. Elbstar was driving to Rotterdam. She is 15 years old, 158 meters long and 24 meters wide. The 2006-built Anina was underway to Göteborg in Sweden. She has a size of 149 to 23 meters. We had seen the bulk carrier Friendship driving fully loaded to Hamburg. Here you now can see how she looks when she is driving back empty to Sept Îles in Canada. Arabella is a chemical tanker that was sailing from Rotterdam to Stade. Built in 2021, is she 110 meters long and 18 meters wide. The tour of YM Fountain started in Hamburg and would end in Antwerp. This vessel is 20 years old, has a length of 275 meters and a beam of 40 meters. A shark on the Elbe, that must be a bulk carrier, and so it is. It is the Nordic Oshima. She was built in 2014, is 225 meters long and 32 meters wide. She was sailing from Milne Inlet in Canada to Hamburg. And finally, the container ship Santa Viola came from Rotterdam Maasvlakte. She was built in 2005, is 275 meters long, 40 meters wide, and her destination was Hamburg.